Welcome back. This is Kimile, and you're listening to Heal with Kimile podcast. I'm not traditional in the sense that I have a diagnosis for you or a label for you. When people come and work with me, they will find that they get things done quickly. So what I mean by that is I'm not trained traditionally. I'm trained to help people clear. And so clearing techniques, clearing technology is to take a subject matter, take something that maybe you have in your life that's unwanted, an unwanted condition, and we're going to work on that. We're going to clear that from your mind, from your habits. People live their life on repeat and they have the same patterns and they have the same addictions and they struggle with the same habits. So I'm the kind of coach that's going to sit with you, and I'm not going to, give you a title and you're going to be an adult child of an alcoholic the rest of your life. You might be an adult child of an alcoholic. You might be an addict. You might have all of those things. But the way I work with people is I don't just stop with that. I say, okay, good. So this is a tendency. Let's figure out why it's a good idea, how it got started, how long it's been going on. And I give you back the keys to the kingdom. So you're the one that's going to help sort out your why. And when I sit with people, I'm not bashing traditional therapy either, by the way. There's a place for that. There's a place for medication. All of that is a great space for people to heal in a different way. I'm just a little bit more, gestalt. And so I'm going to be, it's more didactic. And I'm going to be, conversing with you. I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions because I want to help you get to the bottom of where you're stuck and why you're stuck and get you unstuck. That is why people come and see me. So working with me is different than traditional therapy. When I sit down with you, I'm looking to see what's really, really motivating you. Like what's driving you? What's the undercurrent, either pain or a goal or a desire, like what's really running you in the background of your life? And, people, they kind of, I don't know. I really don't know what's running me. And sometimes it's like describing water to the fish. You're swimming in this and you don't even know that you're swimming in it because it's so close to you. Sometimes it literally is like this identity that you live inside of, that you're totally becoming that identity. You forgot who you really are. You're the wife, you're the husband, you're the CPA, you're the attorney. Like you become that identity, like that is you, right? And it is a part of you. We have identities, we have roles that we play in life, but that's not the real you. I work with people to sort out from their essence, from their core, who they really are. People think it's spiritual. It is kind of a spiritual practice. I would agree with that. Sometimes I've helped people, get closer to their higher power, whatever that is to them. But ultimately, you are the one that has lived this life. You're the one in that body. You're the one on your journey, and you've got your story. Your story is all of the choices, all of the ways of handling life that you have become. It is your identity. It is, what you've gone through, and it's valid. It's important. And everyone's got their story. And if they're stuck in something, like they feel like a victim of something, they don't understand something trapped them at an early age and they just can't get out of it. That's what I'm good at figuring out, where you got sideways in your life. Because I think everyone kind of, is on a journey in their life, and it's a school, life's a school. And so as you walk the journey of life, you are doing well. Maybe you're happy. Maybe you're not. Maybe you have bad childhood. So maybe you're 3 or 4 when some sort of trauma hits. And so if you're on your path and then something kind of comes in and takes you off your path and you're now in the weeds, you're in the rabbit hole and you just don't know how you got there, what happened. The goal is to get you back on track in your life, back on your journey and on your way, and letting go of any of the pain and the confusion and the upset, the trauma that you went through when something in life happened to you or for you, right, that you didn't understand. What frustrates us, what really causes some damage is when we can't seem to understand a difficult situation. We don't have the language for it. We weren't ready for that. Too much, too fast, whether it's learning sex too fast, whether it's learning about betrayal too fast. Like all these life lessons will come into our lives. Everyone's going to go through life lessons. No one gets out of that if they're born on planet Earth. Something's going to happen to every one of us. And if we don't process it and understand it and grieve it or whatever, you have to process what happens to you. And if you don't process it, it gets stuck somewhere. You get stuck there. You're spending your spirit there. You're spending your attention there. Whatever holds your attention holds you. So if you're trapped in some sort of past relationship dynamic or a betrayal or a death or a loss or grief, and you haven't faced that, you haven't sat and processed what really is there for you, you're owned by that. That runs you. That's in the background of your life, continuing to drain your energy. It's like an infection, you're just kind of constantly giving energy to this past whatever, and it just never seems to go away. And that's the motivator. That's the undercurrent, always, kind of pulling you down. So you never really can win. You don't believe winning's possible. And this stuff is not known by you. That's the crazy thing is it might be that you went, maybe your parents got divorced when you were a child. And you don't know that, they used you back and forth to hurt each other, which is so inappropriate, but that's a lot of parents do. So you became a weapon. Like your first job in life was to be, you're weaponized against dad or against mom. And you got to be loyal to me because I'm your mom. You got to be loyal to me because I'm your dad. I love you. They don't love you. I love you. Like all this manipulation starts happening when you're little. And so you now learn to lie. You learn to withhold. You keep your emotions private. You have to kind of become your own sovereign person. If you don't, you're not going to make it because you're going to be mommy's spy, daddy's spy, used against each other. And the last thing anybody wants to become is a weapon. So in that context, the kid doesn't really realize what's happening to them. They just know that, they don't want to hurt mom, they don't want to hurt dad, or they do want to hurt because then they get favor. It becomes an automatic way of being. That kind of role that you got shoved into, if that happened to you, it's an automatic role that you step into. And so in life in the future, you're going to maybe go between two people on a routine basis, or you're going to try and have a relationship and there's something in the background that pulls you off. There's just going to be some sort of remnant, some sort of repeat behavior that starts happening in your future. If that was your first job in life, was to be a spy for mom or dad. And that right there is so disabling, really, to the soul. Because as a mammal, we need our parents. We need our mom and dad to love us, and we want to love them back. But it turns it into this weird dynamic where you're not able to just grow and be authentically yourself. If you're in a situation when you're growing up and you're not safe there, if you don't feel safe, whether you are or not, but you don't feel safe, you're the one that knows how you feel. But if you don't feel safe, you're not you either. You're on guard. You're holding yourself back. You're holding your breath. You don't know how to be yourself. You're not self-expressed. And so if you can't be fully self-expressed and fully who you are in life, that's because you don't feel safe here for some reason. When I sit in front of people, I've done this for 30 plus years. Okay. I know it dates me, but I've done this for a long time. And I am masterful at listening to what the real issue is, what the real pain is. And sometimes you don't even know it. In fact, most people don't realize that it's running them still from a long time ago. And I just know that there's, whatever pattern is going on in your life, it started somewhere. It always starts somewhere. And so if you are looking to kind of free yourself, get out of the ruts, get out of the automatic, responses that you got and kind of get to the next level, that's why people come and sit with me and do some work on themselves. I've got thousands of processes that I run with people. Like if you specifically come in and say, I want to work on weight loss. Great. I have got a rundown. I've got specific questions to ask. Is it weight you're needing? Because again, let's just say you're overweight. Look, that being overweight is somehow a solution to another problem. What is it a solution for? It's meant to be there. For anything to be here, there has to be an intention that it is so. Okay. Nothing's here by accident. Nothing's here by chance. Whatever's happening in your life is meant to be here. So, for example, I have a young woman who wants to lose weight. And I say, okay, we start going through the questions and the rundown of why being overweight is a good idea. I know that sounds a little, no way. Of course it's a good idea. Because her father and mother, when she got her first gym membership, she was going to the gym. She was so happy she was going to lose weight. Well, dad got laid off from work. So he wakes her up at midnight when he comes home from a graveyard shift because he's got a bill in the mail in her name for $248. And that was the gym membership. And she was supposed to pay $15 a month to pay that off. And he was livid, absolutely livid with her. Why? I just got laid off. How do you expect me to cover this? This is a luxury. This is stupid. If you want to move and move your body, you go to work. You work on the farm with me. You go exercise on the farm with me. So what did she experience when she was living her dream, looking to get fit, go to the gym? It was the aerobic era. And she's now shamed and horribly guilt-tripped. And dad's rightfully so scared of not having money. And he thought it was going to be him having to pay that bill. And she said, no, I'll work. I'll pay for it. Well, what if I need you to buy groceries? What if we need your money coming this way? She didn't know. But it's the guilt that comes over her when she's thinking, I need to go work out. I want to take care of my body. I want to exercise. No. Is the house clean? Is her work done? Are the kids okay? Is everyone else okay? And then she can sneak off and go for a walk. It's really messed with her ability to take care of her body with exercise. So, this is from her past and it dogged her. Now that she's kind of recognized, oh, no wonder I feel guilty and awful. But it's so subconscious for her that she wouldn't let herself exercise. It was a luxury she wouldn't afford herself because she felt so guilty with her father back when she was 16. Every situation like that you have going on stems from something. And these processes that I've got, if you are afraid of success, let's do the rundown on success. If you're having a hard time in relationships, what role are you playing in a relationship? If you get cheated on routinely, you're playing a part of that, believe it. You're the common denominator, right? So if you have multiple men or women that have cheated on you, that's your pattern. And so who are you in that dynamic? You're the third wheel, you're not chosen. Like there's some sort of role you're playing. If there was a movie, what would that character be called, right? If you find yourself as the mistress all the time, you're with married men all the time. There's a reason for that. It isn't because you're a bad girl, right? I can't tell you how many times I have had this happen in my office with some young women. They're in a situation where they're dating a married guy and they love it. They're having the time of their lives and he's spoiling them and it's great, right? And they should feel guilty, but they don't. And so I take them back, well, why is that a good idea? Why would it be best to be the mistress, not the wife? Well, their mother was cheated on. Their dad left for the mistress. So broke mom's heart, broke up the family, devastated, financial issues, all that stuff, because he wanted to be with the mistress, wanted to sleep with the mistress. So he chooses the mistress over his wife. So the young girl says, I'm never going to be the wife. What does a wife go through? If you're a wife, you don't want to be that because you're going to get betrayed. So safest relationship for some people is being the mistress. So all of these things you kind of start figuring out about yourself when you process yourself, when you sit with me and we process, what is this really about? What is your behavior about? Why do you have the results that you do? And so any unwanted condition that you have that you're living with can be worked on. People just wanted to know exactly, what I do that's different than traditional stuff. This is what I do. And I'm confrontational. I mean, I'm not mean about it, but I'm going to be direct. You're going to need to look and answer and figure you out. But it works. It's worked for 30 plus years and it'll keep working because it really is just getting to the truth of the matter. And the truth does set us free, right? So if some of this stuff sounds like it might work for you, if you want to sit and process your issues, you know what your issues are, or if you don't, you could do a timeline in your life and just kind of look out, I was born here. Now it's, here I am in between that. What betrayals did I go through? Did I have any major moves? Were there siblings in my life? Were there foster kids moving in with us? All these major changes that could have an impact on you. So you make a list of when life was going great, and then what happened that you went off your path and life has been bad since that time. It could be a physical issue, it could be a car wreck, could be a divorce, could be a betrayal, but you haven't been yourself since that moment, whatever that moment is. That moment must get processed or you will relive it. That is the nature. Whatever we resist will persist. And so you want to graduate that lesson, whatever that lesson is. But if you're bitter, if you're still angry about something, you're stuck. You're stuck in your past. And that's something that you can actually let go of and move forward. Once you learn why that happened for you, not to you, for you. Because as long as you're at the effect of it, as long as it is something that drains your power and eats at you, it owns you. Okay. We don't want that to own you. We want you to be above that, move forward and kind of start living your life again. It's so amazing when someone really lets go of that past, posturing and that past anger, that past sadness, when the grief and stuff leaves your body, leaves your system. It feels like a weight off your heart, a weight off your mind, and you feel like a whole new person and life begins again. If this is something you want to work through with me, I'd be happy to help you. You're welcome to reach out to me on my website at healwithkimile.com. That's HEALWITHKIMILE.com. And I look forward to working with you. Thanks for listening. Bye now.